I have decided to make my presentation about the extract. Poor people don't plan long term, we'll just get our hearts broken. The text is written by this girl, Linda Tirado, who lives in Washington, D.C. The text is answering some serious questions many of us are wondering about, and yeah, they are mainly about poor people. It could, for example, be questions like why do so many poor people eat junk food, fail to budget properly, and show no ambition? These kind of questions can Linda Tirado um, perfectly answer because she has a lot of experience in how it is to live as a poor in today's America. This extract is actually an answer from Linda Tirado to another person who online asked why so many poor people why do many poor people do things that seem so self-destructive. And yeah, Linda Tirado thought that she could at least explain what she had seen, and how she had reacted to the pressures of being poor. In the first section of the answer, she is talking about how busy she is and how hard she is trying to provide her family by, for example, having 2 jobs. Like Linda Tirado, most poor people are just too tired and exhausted to plan uh, and think about things that are going to happen in the future. So they're just not able to plan long term. And later on, she is describing why so many poor people eat unhealthy food. You maybe don't think about it, but it actually requires a lot of stuff to make a proper meal. To start with, you need a working stove, and the stove doesn't work without gas, and most poor people can't afford that. Then you also need pots and pans and spices, and yeah. She's also saying that you have to do the dishes no matter how tired you are, or they will attract bugs. So she probably can see junk food is by far the easiest, cheapest, and fastest to make, and yeah, especially when you come home from work and are really exhausted after a long day. And yeah, I bet Linda Tirado is that with 2 jobs. Yes. Later on, Linda Tirado is also explaining why she smokes and not uses all the money on something else. Precisely, like junk food. She's trying to. She justified with saying that it is one of the only joys in life, and why should they give that up? The following quote are making it very clear how important cigarettes and these small joys in general is for her and poor people. When I'm too tired to walk one more step, I can smoke and go for another hour. When I'm enraged and beaten down and incapable of accomplishing one more thing, I can smoke and feel a little better just for a minute. It is the only relaxation I'm allowed. It is not a good decision, but it's the only one that I have access to. It is the only thing that I found that keeps me from collapsing or exploding. She's also clarifying why it is so difficult for most poor people to get a better job and get out of poverty totally. For example, with this quote, we don't apply for jobs because we know we can't afford to look nice enough to hold them. I would make a super legal secretary, but I've been turned down more than once because I don't fit the image of the firm, which is a nice way of saying GTFO I'm good enough to cook the food hidden away in the kitchen, but my boss won't make me a server because I don't fit the corporate image. I'm not beautiful. I have missing teeth and skin that looks like it when you live on B12 and coffee and nicotine and no sleep. Beauty is a thing you get when you can afford it, and that's how you get the job that you need in order to be beautiful. There isn't much point trying. Yes. In the end, she's stating something that seems like it is very important for her, which is that she's not asking for sympathy by writing all of this. She's just trying to explain on a human level how it is that people make what look from the outside like awful decisions. Yes, for a deeper and more adequate analysis, it could be a good idea to use the rhetorical pentagon. It looks like this and have 5 things you should consider when you read a text, and yeah, together all these 5 things create the intention in the middle. The 5 things are topic, writer, reader, language, and circumstances. The topic in this text is without a doubt poor people in America. Throughout the whole text, it is very clearly illustrated that the text are justifying the poor people's choices, and so on. The writer in this case is Linda Tirado, who is a poor, heartbroken American mother. She's been living as a poor in America her whole life, and it also seems like she believes she will the rest of her days. The circumstances means what is the background for the writer to write or talk, and in what occasion the text or speech is made for. This text is simply just a letter to the editor, where Linda Tirado is discussing some different questions about poverty. All 5 points of the rhetorical pentagon are closely linked together, and you cannot change one of them without it is inflating the other. The language in this text is very formal, in proportion to the fact that it is an extract from Linda Tirado's own book. One of the reasons why it's so formal, why it's not so formal, is because she is telling from her own experience, and that makes it very personal, almost like an essay or autobiography. Even though this section is from a book, we must also remember that it all started out as an answer to a question online, which also makes it very personal when she's talking about her own opinions. The reader and intention linked very closely in this text. I believe that because the reader of this text, this book or extract, is probably not other poor people, but people who doesn't understand exactly how it is to live as a poor in America. This text could help enlighten other people, and that also leads us to the whole meaning of the book, in my opinion. I think that the intention that the Tirado could have with this is to help other people and the government to understand poor people in America, so that they can help them to deal with their problems, and sometimes even help them out of poverty forever.